This is Ron Funches, and you're watching Comedy Matters TV. Please subscribe.
So, hey, it's Jeffrey Gurian here at the Hyatt Regency Hotel at the 31st Annual Just for Laughs Festival. Just came from John Mulaney's amazing show, and very excited to be here with Ron Funches. I was really excited to meet you, Ron.
I'm excited to meet you. I've wanted to meet you for such a long time. It's such a pleasure.
Well, that's so kind of you. I was blown away by your performance tonight. It's so rare to see someone with such a unique delivery. I really respect that. I mean, that's so, it came from, no one expected it. You know what I mean? I hadn't had the pleasure of seeing you perform before, and I had heard about you, but your delivery kills, man. Your material, of course, but...
Thank you. I mean, that's one of my favorite compliments. It's just, I mean, I just talk how I talk mostly, and what used to be kind of a speech impediment has turned into a benefit.
See, now that's interesting that you had a speech impediment. I was a very severe stutterer until I was in my 20s. And I worked on myself for years. No one was able to help me. And I developed a cure for stuttering that I used on myself. And so you yourself had some kind of a speech impediment?
Yeah, I don't know if there's a clinical term for it, but what was basically explained to me as a kid as a lazy tongue. So it kind of makes it a little more of a drawl when I talk, and then I'm just a naturally quiet guy. So I think, especially coming from a man maybe my size, it's a little bit different to people.
It's off-putting. You don't expect it, right? I didn't know what kind of a voice to expect. And then when you started, I'm thinking maybe he's going to change that. Until you read the poem. That was killer. When you read that poem and you went into that other voice.
Yes, that's the voice I use for my son when he needs to be yelled at. Yeah, it's just who I am mostly, and I'm happy that people think it's weird and unique enough to enjoy it.
It's beautiful. How did John Mulaney find you? How did you guys end up working together?
I've been a very big fan of John since before I started comedy.
He's a fan of yours.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing. I think actually his former girlfriend, now fiance, was a fan of mine, and that's how he got interested in me, and we just kind of hit it off. And I just love working with him because he's a nice guy. He's a wordsmith, and I mean, it's just you couldn't learn from him.
Wordsmith is a great way of putting it. He's a master of words and putting them and works so clean. It's hardly ever says anything like, you know, blue material, as they say.
Well, I would say that he's just a tactician about it. I wouldn't even call him clean. He uses whatever word is appropriate for the situation, and he doesn't overuse any words. He's very precise, and that's what I love to learn from him.
Yeah, it's such an art form. All of comedy is such an art form. The phraseology, the timing. Comedy is music.
Absolutely.
And every word has to be in just the right place.
Absolutely.
And if you change one word or the position of it, that's why when people try to repeat a joke they heard at a show, it never works. Because they don't know how to say it the way the comedian said it.
No.
That's the art of it.
That is the art and the craft. If they did, it would put us out of business. So luckily, it's a little hard to replicate.
So tell me how much fun it is working on Nick Kroll's show. You're one of the writers of Kroll's show.
Absolutely. Nick, I mean, it's just I've been blessed to work with great people. He's a fun guy. He knows how to lead people. He's just I can't really pick people who I look up to, who I never even thought I would meet, who enjoy me and then want to work with me. It's a beautiful thing.
Isn't that amazing? And Nick is the most talented, not only the nicest guy, but who does that many characters? The guy is unbelievable. He never runs out of characters.
He's completely unique in what he does. I can't do what he does, so I respect it immensely.
Who can, right? so when I came out there the first time, I'm so glad that you saw Too Much Tuna, because it's been so much fun for me. Wherever I go, people tell me they saw Too Much Tuna. Yeah. And it was such a trip. To work with them, right?
Oh, you were excellent in Too Much Tuna. If you can't prank a guy who refuses to be pranked,
go ahead.
It's beautiful. I love it.
You gotta be willing to be pranked, right? I just refused. If you refuse, they can't prank you.
Embarrassed to be pranked. If you're never embarrassed, You're never pranked.
Can't be pranked.
I love it.
So when do you go back to LA? You're leaving tomorrow?
I leave tomorrow. I'll be back in LA. I'm going to start working on an NBC show called Undateable from Bill Lawrence. I'm excited about that. Hopefully.
What kind of show is that? Tell us a little bit about it.
Oh, it's a wonderful show, hopefully. I like all the guys, wonderful stand-ups like Chris D'Elia, Brent Morin, and Rick Glassman. Britt and Rick are here doing different
I saw Rick
things.
here. I met him at the Comedy Store when I was out there last month doing Nick's show. Rick came over to say hello.
Yeah, he's another unique guy. I have no idea how he comes up with the stuff he does, but I'm just happy to work with him. And I mean, coming from Bill Lawrence from Scrubs and Cougar Town, I mean, so many things.
So it's a sitcom?
Yeah, it's a sitcom, multi-cam. It's got a studio audience.
And what part do you play? What's your part?
I play Shelly. I'm a shy musician who has trouble getting ladies, so it's an easy part for me to play.
That's so cool. Well, I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to meet you, man. I love the synchronicity.
No, yeah, it's a beautiful, it was meant to be.
Absolutely. I wish you all the best. All the best.